Hi, everybody. Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I have what I believe is some disturbing news, and I want to share it with you so that you may be forewarned. And it has to do with what happened in East Palestine, Ohio. And it's something that happened before the train disaster. We've all been following the disaster over there where a train derailed, chemicals, hazardous, dangerous chemicals spilled all over the ground, soaking into the ground water, and then also burning and causing smoke to travel literally hundreds of miles. It's been absolutely insanity, but also watching the government response has been absolute insanity as well. If this doesn't, wake you up to the fact that no matter where you live, something like this could happen. This is why you need something as simple as a water filter that could filter out water and contaminants that probably are in water systems right now, or what's going on with your food supply and having some extra food because you don't know how long it's going to take the government authorities to come and help you. This should be the wake-up call, right? This could happen in any city, any town in America. That's why it's important to be prepared. But what I'm going to talk today about is something that's very disturbing, and it's something that the government set up in October, but it was officially launched in late January, just days before this horrific event. And here's the story. I'm going to link it below for you guys to take a look at. I'll also put a link to that water filter company that I've used for, I think, 12 years now. I absolutely love them. Not only the prices, but the clarity of the water, what they do to filter it out. I'll share that with you guys as well. East Palestine launched a digital ID program days before disaster. It says here, the digital ID program for East Palestine was initially introduced in October of 2022 and formally launched in late January, just days before the disaster, which turned the small town into North America's own Chernobyl. Let me stop right there and say that a lot of people are very concerned, and you should be, about how much information the government has on you and your ability to be tracked and traced. All right. It's very interesting that this happened here, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth into it. And then all of a sudden we see a reason. Now think about this, a reason for people to use it. All right. So here we go. It says here, according to a new opinion by Dr. Evil, and if you guys don't know who Dr. Evil is, he heads up a three-letter organization around the world. Okay, I'm sure you guys can figure it out. The future of global hegemony will depend on the mastery of cutting-edge technology that was before confined to science fiction. With such power in mind, technologies advancing synthetic biology, artificial intelligence, and other tenets of the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution, as described by the World Economic I gotta say it that way, sorry, have started to infiltrate our daily lives. The digital ID is arguably the best illustration of the need for the technocratic elite to utilize these technologies. One of the hallmark for the authoritarian response to the COVID pandemic was the idea that a single all-encompassing digital ID might be used as a tool for extensive government monitoring. Eventually, that crisis wasn't the only opportunity to test out dystopian technology. So, there's a lot of theories going around the internet right now about what this is and what it can do, okay? And I'm going to get into it a little bit more right here. It says how deeply ingrained this purpose is in the plans of the elite is demonstrated by the hamlet of East Palestine, Ohio, the biggest news to come out of the town before it made headlines for being the site of one of the worst environmental catastrophes in American history, appeared to be another version of the ongoing project to integrate digital surveillance capabilities into public infrastructure. East Palestine's My ID program, which will provide residents of the multiplicity and the nearby Unity Township with digital IDs, was formally started in late January. The idea was to give emergency responders access to the digital health profiles of the patients they would be caring for. The Smart ID program for East Palestine was initially introduced in October of 2022. Let me stop right there and say that every single time, in my opinion, the government has more information on us that they can grab at a moment's notice, becomes dangerous, because it's like we give away our freedoms and our privacy every time something like this happens. And it is ironic that this was launched right before a major reason for customers to need it. So it says right here, and this is a quote, "It's kind of like the old medical alert bracelet for old vitals of life program. However, this is with new technology. It's a QR code that we're able to scan it and bring up your pertinent information, medically related. There's no information that anybody can take and steal with your ID. It's just for us to be able to take care of patients who aren't able to communicate with us." That's what the fire chief said. And I'm wondering if, they're talking about old, information. Is this linked up to your patient care report with your doctor as you go to the doctor for average visits, and your most recent blood work on there? I don't know. Is your most recent heart information on there? Your allergies? Why would you not? I mean, think about this. Like, how invasive is this? What could it do to harm you? What could it do to help you? True, as a firefighter, I want to get all of the information possible. If you are allergic to something that we may give you in the field during an emergency, we would love to know that so we don't give it to you. But my idea of thinking is, what is the long-term implications? Is this yet one more step in getting more information to the point, though, that, with certain types of medications you've taken in the past, let's say, and if you don't have that on your ID bracelet, then will you be not let into certain venues because you don't have a certain, let's say, you know what I'm talking about. That's what's starting to concern me. And this is one of those first shots across the bow, right? This is, people would say, well, it's just East Palestine. No, it's interesting that it was done in a very small town, a town that really is on the lower spectrum of income and wealth, as far as how much homes sell for, things like that, right? This is a good working class community, right? This isn't like this started in San Francisco. And it's always like when you start experiments, you start with the small experiments to see how much of it works, how much of it fails. Now check this out right here. This January, the East Palestine Fire Department hosted a sign-up event at the community center of the town to encourage participation in the cloud-based, which information can be stolen, just saying, information system. They were able to raise $5,000 in donations to help with the program's launch and give the first 250 participants free wearables. The QR codes can be attached to a wristband or a key fob, but they rely on digital ID software that keeps a person's health data in a database that's housed in the cloud. Doesn't that sound delightful? I wonder how many times cloud infrastructures have been hacked. I mean, shoot, Target can't even keep your personal info from getting stolen. I've seen that happen. I want to know what your comments are, what your thoughts are. And again, the information of why you need to be prepared so you're not scared. One of the reasons why is because you don't want to rely on the government for your sustenance, for your water needs, for your food, for your living. That's what they want. They want to be your Messiah. That's it. And I've got to be honest with you, I'm not about that. Guys, I want you to be prepared and not scared. And there are going to be some scary events, just like what happened in East Ohio or East Palestine. And it's for a reason. And as more and more people, and that's why I thank you for sharing these videos, because as more and more people start to realize what's going on, then what happens is you take back the power. Because really, power comes when you can control people through fear. And when you're prepared, you're not scared, which means you don't have fear. You're part of Ninja Nation. Guys, I hope you have a great day. The Economic Ninja is out.